All right, officially now the afternoon, and a very good afternoon to you. We're live from the ASB Financial Studios and Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street in Barre. Pleasure to have you with us. Sunshine and 52 degrees right now. A guy that I haven't seen since just before COVID, Jim Thompson, who's my guest this time around on Aired Out. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Thanks, JD. I'm great, thanks.
Man, it's so great to see you. You have an amazing voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Did you ever do any radio stuff or anything?
No radio, no.
Really?
No, just acting and singing, entertaining, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you've made a lot more money by staying the hell out of radio. I'm just saying the truth, my man. Grandpa Jim, Piano Jim, you are such a well-known public figure in our community. You have been for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, yeah.
Maybe even thousands of years, man. You've written a musical. We're going to talk about that, but you may recognize our guest as an entertainer on The Spirit of the Ethan Allen. Maybe he was your elementary school teacher in Montpelier, and Stretching the Limits, which was your band.
Yeah, my trio. We're still. I always still play out with the name. Sometimes I use old Ray Burke on sax with me. He and his son Sam on drums. We're playing Rochester on the 3rd of July. Rochester's where not Sam, but his father, Ray, graduated from high school, Rochester High School,
Really?
Vermont. Yeah.
No kidding.
So he gets down there and tells all kinds of old stories about.
God, there's so many, too. And Sam, I thought he was bass. Wasn't he stand-up bass?
He's playing mostly stand-up bass now, but that's relatively new. He's been a drummer for years, yeah. When I ever put a little rock band together for anything, I'd call on Sam. He's a solid rock drummer.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, his bass work is unbelievable.
It's fabulous. He started off with a wash tub, and I remember the first time he got that thing and said, "Hey, can I bring this along with the drum set and play a little of this with the trio?" I said, "Absolutely."
Wow. Wow. We had Ray Burke here on the podcast about a year ago, and I mean, it was just an experience that, I just can't find words for. It was unbelievable to hear all of his stories.
Oh, we've got some great stories.
And he's still doing it, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's still doing it.
Yeah, I can remember we played up in Canaan, Vermont, Ray and I, and that was when Stretch was alive, too, up there. But Ray and I were traveling together, and he had his two-way, he was working for the state, still had his two-way radio, and it was the worst snowstorm of '96. And he was calling, "You guys got Burke Mountain plowed out yet? Because it's 2 in the morning and we're coming through."
He was always dialed in. He was always dialed in.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing that and playing the saxophone at a gig at the same time.
I know it. And we got back here at 4 in the morning. I had to drop him off at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You talk about multitasking. That guy was an animal.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw you, you were playing the piano on a regular basis over at Barry Gardens. You've played the piano, my God, everywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much just everywhere.
Yeah. Hard to walk past one without playing it.
Yeah. I mean, just every nursing home, every skilled facility, just everywhere, man. I mean, you do such great work, and you bring the joy of music to so many lives, and awaken so many elderly folks that, and you've witnessed it.
Oh yeah, it's a thrill to see people that haven't been out of their wheelchair that know they got to get up out of it and
and mouthing the words
remembering those tunes, and
oh my gosh,
fabulous. Yeah.
And you bring so much vibrancy and energy to your performance on piano. You're singing, you're playing, you're moving around. You really make you play the piano. You don't let the piano play you.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed watching you. So you've got a musical called Halfway There.
Yeah.
That's making its way to the Barre Opera House next weekend. Halfwaymusical.com. But tell me about this. What is this about, and how long you been writing this?
Yeah, well, I started writing this probably 35 years ago, because I know my daughter had just been born, and I had taken a little hiatus from elementary education and was working at a transitional group home, psychiatric group home, and I got the idea for a play, and first I got the idea because when I first started working there, it took me a few days to figure out who were staff and who were clients.
Right.
Because it's not that solid a line at you really
Sure.
when you first meet people, and I go, well, wouldn't it be funny if the audience was a little confused at first too, and then I could work that into the plot. There's a new client, one of the lead in the musical, the woman, she's a new client moving in here, and one of the other residents has been there so long that he kind of acts like he's staff because he knows everything and he's checking on everybody, and
Right.
and she gets confused. So when he takes a shine to her, she thinks somebody on the staff is hitting on her.
Yeah.
Reports that, of course, but he's not on staff. But there is one guy on staff, and of course he gets blamed for it. And I mean, there's all this kind of stuff that goes
that's
on.
Really, what a concept.
So
huh?
that's fun, yeah. And the whole play takes place in two rooms. One is the staff room where they have their staff meetings, and the other one is the client kind of lounge where they watch TV and stuff, and conversations happen on both sides sometimes. And there's a wall right down the middle, and that's kind of symbolic, that wall. Yeah.
So what were you doing? You just driving down the road one day in your car, and you had these ideas, this story?
That's usually how it happens, or in the middle of the night. It's like, wait a minute, yeah.
Artistic
absolutely.
people.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So, and it just kind of has developed. It's evolved.
It's just developed. I came up with the place I worked in Plainfield, Spruce Mountain Inn. It was originally apparently the Goddard College went back in a whole different era. It was the president's mansion, like that he lived in. And so I said, well, let's see, what was this place that I'm working at? I said, well, I decided it would be an old resort. Maybe up here in Vermont or Maine or New Hampshire, where the rich people would come up from the city and get away from things, and the big bands would stop by, and this in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
This is all this backstory I got going. And I came up with this character. Now, some of this story I actually got from Ray Burke. Ray Burke's mother lost her hand, and he had to go to work early to support the family, support her. And so I came up with this character who was an old Vermonter, who similar situation, had to quit school in 6th grade and went to work at this resort when he was a young kid. And then over the years, he's learned the place, and he became the handyman when it was a bed and breakfast, and now he's the handyman. He's in his 80s. But he's a self-taught philosopher. And the reason I wanted a philosopher in there somehow was because when I was in college, I studied philosophy just one time. It was way over my head. It was all Greek to me, I told the professor. But but I remember this one guy called Zeno who had this thing about getting that movement was impossible, because he said before you can get halfway even to the other side of the room, there's a halfway point before that. But there's a halfway point before that. Ad infinitum, so you really can't get to anywhere.
Yeah, halfway to what?
Yeah, and then I thought about that old joke about you can't get there from here.
That's right.
So I said, I'm going to combine the two of these. So I came up with this old character who's usually up on his stepladder. He's putting in a fire alarm system. He's not licensed, but they got a little shady thing going, and so he's a self-taught philosopher. He doesn't know how to pronounce the names.
Yeah.
So you'll hear funny things. Even ad infinitum, I think ad infinitum he calls it.
Wow.
But he becomes like a mentor to this young guy that's been working there but he's a resident, and so he has this philosophy about love and about life and stuff. So it all intertwines.
Oh my God. Yeah. So is there any play on like halfway house? Like it's a halfway house or
oh yeah,
like
there's
that?
a whole halfway to where, he says. What and it's more like a house divided, because the two rooms used to be one big ballroom in the old. That's where the big bands played. And when they turned this into this home, they needed extra space. They didn't need a ballroom, so they put a wall. Took a chandelier out, put the wall right down the middle. Yeah.
And all of this created in your mind.
Yeah.
This plot, this story,
Yeah.
this musical. Yeah. So at some point, Jim, you said the inception of this was back 35 years ago. At some point, I'm guessing that this story has gone far enough where you need a sharp pencil and you need to start scribbling this down. So is that what you did?
I would write a few scenes here and there, and I think I had probably the first 3 or 4 scenes kind of actually dialogued out, but in some stuff in my head I hadn't really worked out all the details, so it really wasn't until 2018, that end of that summer, that I heard about a writing coach in Montpelier and said, I'd like to finish this. 'Cause everybody kept saying, I tell them what was going to happen and what was going to be at the end, and you've got to finish this, and I said, okay, I do have to finish it. I'm getting old. So
wow.
I worked with her and finished the dialogue by the.
So how'd you find this writing coach?
I think she was on Front Porch Forum. She'd moved up from Manhattan, Tamar Cole, and she's in Montpelier. And I met with her. We had coffee, and I showed her the first few scenes, and I kind of told her about what I was thinking that would happen. And she said, I'll guarantee. I'll guarantee completion, she said, but not success.
Yeah.
I said, that's fine. If I can just complete this thing.
Yeah.
And I did, and she had me sign a contract, work 2 hours a day, met with her every 2 weeks. She gave me different tricks to get me going and get the things flowing.
Yeah.
Never told me, no, you should say this. Maybe you're telling here and not showing too much here. Maybe that's. And it was, the dialogue was completed by February of 2019. Got a bunch of friends together, 17 in the cast, so I had 17 friends get together. I think only one guy had to take a female part, but we had a read through. She sat and listened. I could just sit back and listen to it being read through, and played a few of the little pieces of the songs here and there, and yeah.
And this was all just before COVID.
Yeah.
You're ready to pull the trigger on this.
Yeah, I was ready to get things started, and it stalled out. Yeah.
What happened when COVID hit? I mean, you've got this musical, this product, this thing that's huge.
Yeah.
You had to put it in the drawer.
Put it in the drawer. Get back to my regular. Yeah, and I couldn't play. I wasn't playing at the nursing homes. It wasn't.
That's right.
Even the Spirit of Ethan Allen, I was still able to play a little bit. They were able to open it, but not for the bus tours weren't running that one season. Yeah.
So did the plot of your musical evolve during this stagnant time of COVID, 2 years?
Yeah.
Or did you lock the file cabinet, or were you pulling it out and adding scenes and lines?
No. It was the file cabinet was pretty much locked. It was. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if there was any work done at all on the songs at all. No, because they pretty much had, the songs I had started to workshop by having people join me and sing and try. Oh no, that didn't work. Let me try this key here, or let me try the different refrain. I did set Dan Boomhauer from the Barry Gardens. Now because he played there too. So I had brought the and this was probably before COVID hit too. But I had brought the music to him because he's fabulous, and he because I don't read music. I don't even play by ear.
I think somebody told me that.
Yeah. So
at Barry Gardens.
Yeah. I just been playing so long, but I had to write the music. So I have software, and I wrote the score, but I wanted to see if a piano player could actually make sense of it.
Yeah.
Right. And he could
got on it?
And embellish it. Huh?
And Boomhauer got on it?
So I brought and bless his heart, he spent about 2 hours with me, and we fixed some stuff here and there and stuff, and then so when we finally did decide we're going to do this, he came and did the help with the auditions. He played piano at the auditions so people could come in and bring a song.
Yeah.
And because I don't Greek to me again if you show me a bunch of dots, and he just play what they brought in, they'd sing. And
wow. We have Cliff Fleury, who's giving you a shout out.
Yeah. My buddy Cliff, he's great.
He did theater with you back in when he was a little kid.
He probably made swords and shields, I bet, in school.
Yeah. Was Cliff Fleury ever a little? Apparently he was. But, yeah, he says that you did some stuff in Hubbard Park.
Yep.
And at the church on State Street. And Donna Thunder is saying hello to you, too.
Oh, yes, Donna's great. Yeah. Yeah, we've played together quite a bit.
Yeah, she's a fire, huh?
I love
Woo.
her. Oh, yeah.
It's it's one thing to write the storyline behind this, to be a playwright, but to also be a composer of the music that has to mesh with the plot.
Yep.
That's getting heavy, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how people do that.
And I don't know how I did it, but boy, I tell you a couple things that helped. One was my history of music playing has been all over the place. I played in, I was a drummer in a rock band, but I played piano with kind of a folk rock band. I used to live in Adamant one time, and they had hootenannies, and I'd play old country songs and the sawdust on the floor and stuff.
Wow.
I played with a gospel singing group for a while. So I really started learning and off my father's old 78s, Count Basie and Fats Waller and stuff. So I've just got all this different genres in my head.
Yeah,
so
you do.
So that helped because when I've written songs over the years, but I slow down because I can't come up with, well, what am I going to write a song about? Oh, let's write another love song. I don't want to write, how many love songs can you write? Let's write a broken heart song. Oh, yeah.
Billions of them.
So when I had this, and I told you about the index cards earlier, but I had these, index cards of the songs.
Yeah.
So now I know, okay, I need a song about. The first song is about body shaming. I need a song about body image. Oh, the second song is about just about music and how it's healing and stuff. Okay, I need a song like that. Okay, I need a song about. There's a song about it's nice to be normal. Where it's kind of one of the early songs where the staff is it's almost tongue in cheek. Oh, how nice it is to be normal. Too bad for the poor people that aren't.
Yeah.
And then later on, they have another song called "Well, I'm Crazy Too," where it has a line. And we have a small confession. Let's see. There's a little crazy in all of us. Yeah. Without it, life would be monotonous.
Yes.
Social anxiety, seasonal depression. It's how we ended up in this profession.
Yes. Masks, no masks, vaccinations. Do you believe that? Do you think we're all a little crazy to some level?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah. My mother, there was a book in the 60s, early 70s called I'm Okay, You're Okay. It was a psychology book. And my mother said, I'm going to write a book. I'm okay, you're okay, but my kids are all crazy.
I have to ask you about your paintings. Donna is saying, ask him about his paintings. Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Is this Kites by Jim?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
What is that?
So when I was my first teaching job was at a special ed school, and I started making some kites with the kids. I was an art teacher, music teacher, and woodworking teacher, and that would be something I would do with kids at the elementary school. Probably Cliff and I made kites together. And then that was it for years. Well, in I think 2010, I was on a carnival ride, one of these up in the mall or something, and I had some kind of my head started to spin, and I ended up not being able to play music for 3.5 years. Migraines, I could hardly walk, and it turned out, and they couldn't figure out what it was, Dartmouth-ish, because they kept looking at my head, and what turned out it was in my neck. It was a very rare thing called cervical vertigo that people usually get from a car accident with whiplash. So the insurance companies always say, well, there's no such thing as that. But the doctor finally, a neurologist in Burlington, confirmed it. But I was not able to play piano for three and a half years. Any music, even just lightly doing something on guitar, made my head spin. So I had to do something. So I was looking for some I think frames to do things to do cheap framings for photographs or something, and I saw the wooden dowels at Aubuchon's. I said, oh yeah, I used to make kites. Maybe that'll be something to keep me busy. And I made 7 kites and painted them, and I brought them down to it was the Uncommon Market at that time in Montpelier, and they hung them up, and 2 of them sold the next day. And this thing just took off. So it gave me something for 3.5 years to do, and I still do it now, occasionally. Now they're in the gallery in Waitsfield and in the gallery and up in Grand Isle.
Wow.
And I do commissions. People want their pet. I usually do animals. People want their pets done. Donna says, "How about one of me?" I don't know if you've seen her kite.
No, I have not.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
So there's a kite with Donna Moran and a microphone, and
She's got the point going.
Yeah, and yes, that's the one. And it's right. If sometimes I'll watch a video in her living room or wherever it is, she's got her little music set up in there where the guy's playing, and there'll be on the wall back there.
No kidding.
The Donna Moran kite. Yeah, Grace Potter bought one of a lion because she had that album about the lion and something, and she took it on stage with her. So I can watch a YouTube video of Grace Potter with one of my kites leaning against her piano playing.
No way.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're still making these?
Yeah. They're on.
And how big are they?
Yeah, they're about 3 feet tall.
Okay.
32 inches wide, and
where do you get all the material from?
So these are just made out of like that brown craft paper, like a paper bag paper almost. That you can get in rolls. And wooden thin, like 1/4-inch dowels and some old fish line I found. My father had when I ran out. I had to research to see what the heck it was. It's actually a lead core fish line. It's a funny thing, but just for the wire around because it doesn't stretch at all and it's really easy to work with.
Wow.
And then I paint them with acrylics, and the acrylics give that paper some body and stuff, so they last for years. Because I found I've got a friend up in Grand Isle who runs an antique shop, and he has one that I made back in the late 70s. Yeah, it was the late 70s, and I got to see how it lasted over the years, and it's fine. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And you're a magician too?
Who's saying that?
Cliff.
Oh God, bless his heart. Yeah, I let the kids decide what they wanted to study for a unit. That was back in the days when we were just told there were certain skills they needed to learn, but however I wanted to get them to learn those skills,
that's right.
Do it. So I said, what do you guys want to study? And they said, how about magic? And I knew this guy who was a professional magician, fabulous. He came in and did these tricks and wowed the kids. And then we just did some research and found some tricks that the kids could learn and stuff, some fun stuff, and some were pretty impressive that
really?
We did. Yeah, so we put on a magic show, and I played the piano, and then
no way.
Each kid would have this trick, and we videotaped it, and yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Donna says she's got a check for you for your GoFundMe. So what's that? Talk to me about that.
Oh, on the website, somebody said, oh, you ought to have as part of the fundraising, get a GoFundMe page going. So we did, yeah, just to get to
help with this musical.
To help with the music. There's been some great businesses. I want to say Capital Candy. It helped us out right across the street here. Bob Nelson Hardware supported us. Lenny's Shoes and Apparel supported us. So there's been some great support from the community.
So there's going to be, again, if you're just joining us, Jim Thompson. He is the playwright. He's the composer of his first musical. Dare I suggest that there may be a second, but it's called Halfway There, and it's going to be next weekend at the Barre Opera House.
Yeah, April 15th. It's Friday, April 15th, opening night, 7:30.
And then you got a matinee.
Matinee on Saturday at 2.
All right.
And Saturday evening at 7:30, so 3 shows. Yeah.
The music is swinging. The music is soulful.
Yeah.
The story will touch your heart, as it says right on the front page of the World newspaper. BarreOperaHouse.org to get tickets for the show. Now, have you already had a couple of runs of this? You've already performed this?
No.
This is it.
This is it.
Will there
premiere, the world premiere.
Will there be performances after the Opera House?
We will have to see. What there will be is this outfit called Theater Engine. is going to film it and offer it to be streamed, so you could actually watch it later, if you people that didn't get a chance to.
Wow.
To see it, yeah.
Tell me about some of the musicians that you have performing and
yes.
your actors and actresses.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some fabulous stories. Let's start with the musicians. Dove Schiller, fantastic percussionist, and shout out to him. He's opening, I think, for Hugo's on piano. He's also a piano player tonight. He also plays with an outfit called the Green Bush Trio, and they're playing in Montpelier. Bent Nails. So somebody's going to do this on Langdon Street Friday night. And then he's back rehearsing with us Saturday night. He's a fabulous percussionist. He's played with me at nursing homes before when I needed a trio together, and other shows he's done with me. He's just fabulous. And so he's also the music director. So he's a percussionist and the music director. Dan Bruce is going to be the piano player, and Dan Bruce is just known from all over here. He's actually teaches at People's Academy, but he's well known in the Barre area because he does a lot of shows here, and I'd have to go and look at all the other things he's got, other places he's spinning, because he's a conductor. Steve Sawyer is originally from Barre, Spalding graduate, and Steve Sawyer and I hooked up back in the 80s. He's a sax clarinet player, fabulous. He plays with a lot of the big bands. He plays with the Vermont Jazz Ensemble. He plays with we're going to forget the names, over in Virgin's, a big band, and he's just fabulous. He just has retired, I believe, from teaching band in Virgin, so he lives in Virgin's now, but he's going to be the sax clarinet. I think he may even pull out a flute on a number, so he's fabulous. So it's basically going to be a trio, similar to my trio. So it was kind of like, that's kind of how I wrote it, was as if I had piano player, percussionist, and horn player.
No disrespect to Dan Bruce, but where's Jim Thompson on piano?
Yeah, Jim Thompson is sitting in the audience, just enjoying himself
with a cold beer.
But I'm ready to sneak out if it goes bad.
You're too tall, my man.
Yeah,
You're too tall.
They'll catch me.
We're all going to know it's you.
Yeah.
So seriously, was this challenging for you to delegate and to step back? And how come you're not on keys?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, it came to me very easily early on. For one thing, just even auditions, people would want to bring in music to sing, and I don't read music. So I said, well, I need somebody to help me. Dan Boomhauer came in and did the audition piano. Yeah. So if somebody could just show him the sheet music, and boom, he was playing whatever they brought in. No way I'm going to do that.
Great point.
I have to listen to a song, look at the guitar chords, and plunk it out and figure it out. So then when we started rehearsals, somebody said, "Oh, could you play my part?" And I would look at my own music that I wrote, and I would go, "No, I can't play your part."
Wow.
So I have a rehearsal pianist, Christopher McWilliams, who's kind of new he lives in Barre. He's the new organist. He has been for a year now, I think, or so, at Bethany Church in Montpelier. He's the new organist there, but he's fabulous. So he's been our rehearsal pianist.
Yeah.
And so it was easy for me to, this is really nice just to have somebody who really knows music and can, let's warm up do the warm-ups and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how come you don't read music? Is this something that you tried to do as a kid?
Well, I did. I want to say, to be honest, I think I was 7 or 8. I went to take piano lessons, and I just struggled. The little girls, I remember, all over the place. We'd have a recital, and they'd be playing with both hands, and I'd be playing with one. It just wasn't coming to me. So I switched over to percussion, and I could read rhythm fine.
Right.
And so I became a percussionist. I used to play for Barre players when they would do productions. I played for, I remember Johnson. So I could read a percussion score on a drum set, know everything, but I cannot read melody. But I love piano. I listened to my father's old 78s, and I just, I got to learn this stuff. Some little kid in the neighborhood was taking lessons. He had learned this little boogie woogie. I said, you sit down and show me that until I can learn it myself. And that's just kind of where the piano stuff started.
So if someone were to say, play G minor 7th chord with an augmented 5th.
Yes, I can do that.
You can.
Yes.
Okay.
That I do because I know where they are. Okay, I can count up. Oh yeah, I know where that. So I learned the chording stuff, but I can't play the melody until I work it out over time. So if I'm, originally I was always like to have somebody else. My first little outing was with my best friend played flute. So when it came, I'd sing and play chords, kind of, and maybe the bass on this hand and chords, and then when it came to some kind of break and needed some melody, he would do that.
Yeah.
And so it took me, but now I can do all that. But
I've seen you play so many times,
Yeah.
and you're just there's so much joy on your face. You're not looking at your hands. Your hands are all over the keyboard.
Yeah.
And you just genuinely love.
Yeah, I do.
Playing.
I love it.
And
Love it,
singing.
Love it. Yep.
And
Yep.
you've got that booming voice. I
Yeah.
mean, it penetrates. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Tell me about stretching the limits a little bit more.
I will. A little bit.
You were just telling me out back.
Yes,
this,
out back,
This
yes.
parking lot out right behind our studio here.
Yeah, the place that's Jerry's Sports
Yes.
Bar used to be called The Parking Lot.
All right.
Was the name of the bar, and I went in there, and I want to say, let's see, I'm going to put this at around 79, 80, 81, 82, I don't know. And went in there, and then noticed they had a piano, and I said, geez, can I sit down and play a little piano? Yeah, do it. Sat down, and they said, boy, you ought to come here and play regularly. So I did, and it was kind of like a play, sing-along, country, rock, whatever people were into doing, and then this old drummer came, Stretch Normando, and he came in one night. He said, "Hey!" He was French Canadian originally, but had been in this area for years. He was an insurance salesman. He'd been playing in bands since he was. I've been playing since I was 14. I'm done rehearsing. and hey, can I bring my drums in? And he did, and we started playing. And we started getting some gigs over at the American Legion playing, and then I ran into Steve Sawyer. Substitute teaching up at U32, I think. I was subbing in the classroom. He was subbing as the band director, and I found out he played sax, and I needed a sax player. I think Steve MacArthur had been my first sax player, but I needed someone on a regular basis, and Steve Sawyer joined us. And this is, I know we have recordings from 88 playing together, so
Wow.
Probably 85, 86 we started. And he's
So
going to be in the show.
Who came up with, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he was the one that came up with the name of Stretching
the
Limits.
Stretching the limits, yeah.
That's
'Cause,
amazing.
Yeah. Our drummer was tall. Now, when we play out of state and people don't know us, even when Stretch was alive, they would think I was Stretch because I'm the band leader, really, and I'm tall. But Stretch was a tall guy. In fact, I have he gave me his coat before he died, a beautiful winter coat that has a whole other story. We don't have time for it today, but yeah. So he was Stretch, but the band was Stretching the Limits, and we had a lot of fun playing all over Vermont and New Hampshire.
You've got plenty of theater background going back to what, high school, right?
High school, I have, I played the lead in my, senior year. I was a skinny Tevye, Fiddler on the Roof. I was a skinny kid back then, probably 175 pounds,
Wow.
long and lanky,
And you did some stuff with the Barry Players?
Yeah, I did. First, I was a percussionist, but and Steve Sawyer was in this show too. I don't remember how many years ago it would be now. Maybe the 90s. Yeah, they did a show called 1940s Radio Hour, which is like a radio show done on stage during World War II.
Awesome.
Christmas, yeah.
Love that.
And so I get to be an actor playing piano as part of the band on stage. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
You have been so busy over the last however many months. I'm sure you've lost track of it.
Yeah.
Just trying to put this all together. Your musical, Halfway There, which is coming to the Barre Opera House again, April 15th and 16th. Get your tickets, barreoperahouse.org. It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yep, a lot of people to help. I need help, and you know what? And surprisingly, everything's taken up. So a lot of people that were I got a list of like 10 people who would be great directors, all got something else going.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Everybody's got something else going all of a sudden. So one of my actors had to step in and take over as director.
So you don't jump on stage and throw on a costume and jump into character for any parts, or maybe you do?
I'm hoping I won't have to.
But if you do, you've got the lines probably well memorized.
Pretty close, too. Pretty close. Pretty close.
How many cast members now?
So it was written for 17. We've realized that one of the parts, one guy could play both because they were never on, and they're very different parts. One's a kind of a good-natured guy, and the other one's a bad boy.
Yeah, I
bet. And so he's going to have David Rapp. He's going to have some fun with that. He's fairly new to acting, but he had just come off doing Much Ado About Nothing with the Stowe Players, Shakespeare, and so he's really into it. But I tell you, the actors now, there's some local people that have been in theater for years around here, Carrie Youngblood, and then there's some surprises. I met this young man on the boat this season on the Spear of Ethan Allen. When I first started, the staff said, "Hey, you ought to get Peter to sing a song with you." I said, "Peter, do you want to sing a song?" "Yeah," he said. I said, "Is he any good?" "Yeah." "Oh yeah, you got." and I said, "What would you like to sing?" "What, you know any Frank Sinatra?" And yeah, so he sang. The crowd loved him. These are bus tours, 150 people from Texas and Alabama. I mean, they loved him, and he had a wonderful voice. And I said, "Geez, I knew I needed a young man to play this lead." And I said, I didn't even know if he was out of school yet. I said, "What are you doing after the season ends, the boat season?" And we ended towards the end of October. "Well, I don't know yet," he said. "Probably go back to some bartending stuff." I said, "You're all through school?" "Yeah." He said, "I graduated from the Tisch School of Drama, New York University." I said, "Drama?" I said, "He's been in plays since he was 12. I said, "Would you come down and audition for the show?" "Yes." So he was a surprise. So he's my lead guy, and he's the one taking over as director. He's fabulous. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he sees my vision. He gets to the characters. Now my leading lady is another surprise. She came into audition. She said, I'll take any female part." She listed some of the smaller parts, and I had her sing, and she was facing away from everybody, and sang this song, and she got done. She turned around, and I said, "Could you sing it again facing us so we could hear you?" And everybody laughed because you could have heard her over across the street. She's fabulous voice. Well, it turns out she's from Australia.
Yep.
She came here on her honeymoon. Erin, her name is, came here on her honeymoon, and COVID hit, and she got stuck here. She couldn't return home.
No way.
So that's how I got her. That's how we got her.
She's stuck.
She is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she is fabulous. She had a whole litany in her resume of theater she done in Australia, and she is just.
Does she love it here
fabulous. Now? We'll see. She loves it. She wasn't too fond of the winter, but
mud season.
God bless her. Yeah. Well, oh boy, I said, one of the songs that the lead sings is kind of a blues thing. "Oh yeah," she says. I got into this because I loved Etta James. I said, "Okay, you come here." Oh boy, she knocks the socks off this showstopper. She's amazing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a guy. There's a kind of the secondary male lead is the guy he's the director of this group home. And I won't give away too much of the plot, but he. I lost my actor at the end of January, so it was like, wait, we've been rehearsing since November, December, January. All of a sudden, I'm without this guy, and I'm scrambling, and this guy happened to look in the. He said, "I rarely look at the front porch for him. I'd put something in there." He had bought a house in Montpelier. He's from New York. He's like a professional actor. I mean, he laughed when I said that. Well, he said, "Yeah, I have gotten paid for some stuff." He said, but he's also a carpenter. But he said he's got a huge resume, and he is fabulous.
Wow.
And he's picked up this stuff like quickly. He's got these great and he and this young man Peter, They have a song together that's fabulous. And dance. His wife's a dance teacher. He's got all these moves. It's just so. He's brought a whole level of fun and professionalism to the show that wasn't there. That just jacked it right up a level. And so just great. And even one of my old buddies he went to actually school with my brother, a few years older than me, Brian Powell, and he had done maybe a little bit of acting over his life, but he's mostly some singing and stuff. And he had workshopped some of these songs with me, helped me back in 2019 before COVID. So I had him come and audition for this part of this old man. And he has just been fabulous. He's up on his step ladder spouting off philosophy, and he gets down and does this dance number. It's a soft shoe number. I can't get there from here.
Oh, my God.
I turned that into a song. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It has got to be so satisfying, for lack of a better term, that you're able to sit in the audience and witness what your mind has been creating for all of these years, 35 plus years, to see it all unfold right in front of your eyes. It's going to be.
It's amazing. It is. I got to say it. I am so honored that these actors are doing this.
That's living, bro.
They're like my palette. I mean, they're like my paints, and the stage like my palette. But I mean, you know me as an entertainer, and I am an entertainer. I'm not oh no, I'm only going to play my songs.
Right.
I mean, because I've written songs, and once in a while I'll sneak one in. I had but I just love playing what people like to hear, and I enjoy it. It's not, but I've always kind of wanted to, like, well, let me show you how I think and what I really, and express my authentic self. And this is, my only opportunity to do that, really, in this venue with these songs and stuff. And
will you? Right now, we're not alluding that there will be performances outside of the Opera House. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
As of now, if there are
nothing planned. Yep.
If something comes to fruition, will you text me? Let me know.
Absolutely.
We'll promote it, obviously. Yeah. But right now, you've got a couple of chances to see it, and if you don't have your tickets, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. BarreOperaHouse.org to get tickets for the Halfway There musical with Jim Thompson, who is the playwright, the composer, the man behind it. If you want to check it out on the web, we've got the link in our comment section already posted, halfwaymusical.com. This is incredible, and I'm so glad you reached out to me. I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yeah. I was thinking of you and see your other podcasts.
Yeah, man. So will there be anything beyond April 15th and 16th? In other words, are you?
What's going to happen to it? Yeah, I don't know.
Are you going to write another musical? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, all the way there.
Yeah. Or just there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah. I don't know if I've got it in me this lifetime to write another musical, but this certainly will satisfy me, I think.
Dwayne Tucker's saying that.
Oh, yes, Dwayne's a great guy.
He says he'll be there, too. So.
Excellent.
Again, Dwayne, you better get your tickets. BarreOperaHouse.org, April 15th and the 16th at 7:30. And there's going to be a 2 p.m. matinee on
Saturday.
The 16th.
The
16th.
Yeah.
So don't miss the premiere of this, again, this original musical by Jim Thompson. You live in Montpelier. Kudos to your family and your wife for dealing with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of your friends who have had to kind of understand that you're in a mode. You're on a train right now. It's the Jim Thompson train. You better get out of the way. You're focused. You know what you're doing. And this is so cool to see this all come to life, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Best of luck.
Thanks, JD. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
We hope to be there. Sherilyn and I, it would be great if we can. But stay in touch with us.
You will do.
And get on halfwaymusical.com. And, maybe kitesbygym.com too,
Yeah.
or pianogym.com or stretchingthelimits.com. And you're doing so much, my man.
Thanks.
How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm going to be 68 on the 21st.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Doing great things, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
Loved by so many. And we appreciate your time coming in here. I'm glad you reached out to me. Best of luck with everything, and this has been great chatting with you.
Thanks, JD. Good to see you.
Jim Thompson, this time around on the Aired Out Podcast, live from the ASB Financial Studios and Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barre, presented by the sponsors that are right there in front of you. It's a long list of them, and God bless them. We love them for making this possible. Thanks for catching the show, everybody. God bless. Be well.